Welcome, alumni and friends, back home to William Jewell. My name is Lorraine Moore, and I am proud to serve as the president of the Alumni Board of Governors. Brian Place, our president-elect, will be assuming my role next year and will present 2 awards this evening. Will the past president, Terry Stevens, and all the other current and former board members please stand to be recognized for your service? The board is made up of 24 elected members and 3 officers who represent alumni from every decade. We support our school's goals and vision along with hosting community events like this. It's our honor to present awards to accomplished alumni and friends this evening. Over the years, William Jewell has recognized almost 200 individuals in this way. Beginning in 1955 was the first Distinguished Alumni Service Award, followed by the Honorary Alumni Award, which began in 1977, the John F. Truex Lifetime Award in 1996, the Young Distinguished Alumni Award in 2000, and the Humanitarian Award is our latest award. We began in 2009. We welcome and encourage you to submit those that you want to nominate for these awards, especially after hearing about them this evening. Call the Alumni Office. Audrey would be glad to hear your nominations. We'll start with the Honorary Alumni. And the Honorary Alumni Award is presented to community members who are not William Jewell alumni, who have shown service and loyalty to the school and a continuous campus presence. The 2016 Honorary Alumni Award recipients are Dr. Phil Posey and Ann Posey. In 1963, Dr. Posey was under contract with the public schools in Alabama when Wesley Forbes contacted him about the music director position at William Jewell. After hearing several times how pleased Phil was with his new job in Alabama, Dr. Forbes told him to get on the blank plane and get up here. End quote. When he arrived on campus, he received a warm welcome and was given the grand tour. The final stop was the band room in the basement of the chapel. Anyone familiar with the building at the time knows what that room looked like. Today it houses the maintenance vehicles. Dr. Posey, however, saw the potential not only of the program, but the space. Phil's pastor happened to be on his return flight back to Alabama. After guessing the reason for his trip to Liberty, he told Phil, no matter what they offer you, take it. So in August, Phil and Ann moved with their brand new baby, who's here tonight, Teresa, to Liberty to begin their excellent adventure at William Jewell. Ann and Phil are the proud parents of Teresa, class of 1987, Scott, and Dawn. Phil was the director of instrumental studies in our school's music department for 39 years, from 1963 to 2002. Ann was an adjunct instructor in piano for all but 2 of those years and continued teaching even after Phil's retirement. They feel blessed to have spent their entire professional life in one place. Even when other opportunities came around, they chose to stay at Jewell. There were wonderful times spent studying and traveling abroad, along with sabbaticals in Vienna and China, a summer in Jordan, 2 semesters at Harleston. Phil founded the Liberty Symphony, a wonderful and positive connection between town and gown. He continues to support the current instrumental music professors. Ann is the organist at the Second Baptist Church in Liberty, where they have been members since 1963. Ann keeps busy schedule by giving private piano and organ lessons. She delivers Meals on Wheels and is involved with child care for the mothers of preschoolers at Second Baptist. They both encourage students who would be a good fit to attend William Jewell. Phil and Ann, thank you for all the kindness and the music that you have shared over the years with our students and staff. Congratulations.
stories. And most of it is true, except it was 1965. I'm not really that old. But the time here at Jewell was very important to us. We got here in August before I started teaching in September. And I didn't think I'd get released from my contract in Mobile, but the head of the school board happened to be a very dear friend of mine and my family. So he says, of course you can go. And I went, and I've been here ever since. I said yes, and I've been saying yes for a long time. And I do not regret any of the times when I've said yes. I thank you for this honor, and we are pleased to have been part of this. Thanks very much.
The Humanitarian Award is presented to alumni whose lives reflect the high standards of our schools and noted in our vision, which is serving others to create a more compassionate and just world. The recipient of the 2016 Humanitarian Award is Kimberly Flowers, class of 1999. Kimberly is the director of the Global Food Security Project at the Center for Strategic and International Studies in Washington, D.C. This center provides guidance to the policymakers of U.S. foreign assistance programs. Kimberly began her international development career in 1999 as a Peace Corps volunteer in Bulgaria. There she started a leadership camp for young women that she continues to be involved with today. So lean back, April. She followed her passion for helping others to Jamaica, Ethiopia, and Haiti, where she worked for USAID to eradicate hunger. While representing USAID, she worked with the U.S. military and other agencies to increase awareness of U.S. disaster response. As a member of the senior management team, she advised key staff on press, policy, and coverage. In 2010, she returned to Washington, D.C. to lead the communication team for President Obama's Feed the Future initiative. As committee chair, Kimberly worked with representatives from each state, the USDA, and the Peace Corps to increase awareness of global hunger. She then managed the communications department at FinTrack, a company responsible for teaching farmers in developing countries effective agricultural technology. Kimberly came to our school from Shawnee, Oklahoma because of the small class sizes, holistic approach to learning, the fine arts program, and the dance team. The first time that she traveled overseas was to England to study at Oxford. In 2012, she accompanied the prior leadership class as a mentor for the Everglades Outward Bound experience, for which I'm totally in awe that she did that. Kimberly feels that her time at William Jewell forged her desire for a life of servant leadership and to use her gifts to do something meaningful with her life. We are proud of you, Kimberly, and thank you for all of your work in developing countries and also the United States. Please join me in congratulating Kimberly.
Thank you all for coming and just kind of embodying the spirit that William Jewell definitely emulates. You know, Dr. McLeod-Walls kind of stole my thunder because I really wanted to say what I got out of William Jewell was a life of purpose. And I think, you know, driving a career to try to do something, help others in the world really began here, whether it's a sense of the holistic learning that you gain or kind of being pushed out of your comfort zone in the Florida Everglades, but also learning from great professors like Lois Ann Harris, learning from Kevin Shastel, thinking about leadership theory and how you can best apply that are definitely things that I've learned here at William Jewell. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Good evening, everyone. As Lorraine pointed out, my and I am here this evening to continue on with the awards, and thank everyone for being here tonight. The Young Alumni Service Award was created in honor of those alumni who have graduated within the last 15 years and also demonstrated a consistent level of dedication to William Jewell College and its mission. These so-called young alum represent the very best of our college's most recent additions to the greater community, and their go-for-it mentality reminds us all that anything is possible when you dream big. This year's Young Alumni Service Award recipient comes to us from the class of 2012. Please join me now in honoring Miss Meredith Moore. Meredith is accompanied this evening by members of her immediate family, including her mother, Dee Moore, and her sister, Kaylee Penletto. Also in attendance this evening are several friends and co-workers, including Sam Anderson, Emily Love, Jesse Chastain, and Kaylee George. During her time here on the Hill, Meredith found a sense of community and belonging with friends she met in Ely Hall, where she lived. Many of her favorite college memories can be traced back to her time in Ely and her work as a resident assistant, which was particularly rewarding. As a side note, I'm certainly glad that Meredith was not a resident assistant when I was here. Otherwise, I would make this a little awkward, but I digress. Throughout her college career, Meredith's studies took center stage, but her future ultimately took shape while under the direction of the director of the prior leadership program, Kevin Shastall, as well as Dr. Gardner in her education curriculum. It was in these William Jewell classrooms that Meredith developed what she would call a fire in her bones, and I did borrow those words directly from her. I really like those words, and I think they portray her well. This fire drove her to help those who have become marginalized in our society, especially young people in our communities who have found their access to quality education being limited, cut off, or otherwise denied in some fashion by forces that are out of their control. Not surprisingly, Meredith's passion to aid those less fortunate was immediately expressed in her professional life. After leaving Jewell, Meredith put her education degree into practice while serving with Teach for America and also as a kindergarten teacher in the Kansas City public school system. Meredith also found time to give back by way of the City Union mission and finally reached another milestone in 2014 when she earned her Master's of Early Childhood Education from the University of Missouri St. Louis. All the while, she continued to support William Jewell as a partner to the prior leadership program. Currently, Meredith's days are spent at the Urban Christian Academy, an institution that she co-founded in 2014 with Kaylee George, who is here this evening. Meredith and Kaylee recognized that youth in the urban core of our community had only one option when seeking the promise of higher education: non-accredited public schools that graduated less than 15% of their students. Not a very good option, to be sure. Thus, they created the Urban Christian Academy to provide children with a Christian-focused, rigorous academic institution of learning. They started with 15 students, and today they're educating 45 students with a bright future of continued growth ahead. In the face of what appeared to be an insurmountable challenge, and with the outcome of young lives hanging in the balance, Meredith Moore chose to take action. She chose the uncertain road and a path that most among us wouldn't dare to follow. She still strides bravely forward on that road today. In light of this, and with a sense of profound gratitude, we honor you, Meredith, here this evening. Congratulations on this award, and we thank you for your service to the community at William Jewell College.
Thank you so much. I am truly humbled and honored and grateful to be here. I took notes for the few words that I would like to say in emojis because I could easily look at the pictures. For those of you who don't know what emojis are, they're little tiny pictures that you can put on your phone. So I am acting in my generation and looking at the emojis on my phone while I speak to you. I actually have a fire emoji, so thank you, Brian, for using those words. I appreciate that. But I vividly remember sitting in Dr. Gardner's State and Society class, and she was giving an amazing lecture about just the systematic injustice that exists for so many of our minority children in cities. And I remember feeling just this urge, this passion that I needed to do something about it. And I didn't feel like I was the most equipped, I didn't feel like I was the most skilled, but I felt like I knew that I needed to do something. And so that was one of the many experiences that landed me in a kindergarten teaching position with 29 4- and 5-year-olds all by myself. And there's a lot to be said there and a lot of great stories about how unqualified I was for the first day of that and how huge of a learning curve there was. But I promise to be brief, so come find me if you want to hear amazing stories about kids peeing their pants and me wanting to pull my hair out. But one thing that I did learn in my time in the public school district was the power of people believing in people, not just kids and people. And I think that that's something that resonates with me with several of the professors that I had at Jewell, was that they saw the potential that I had even when I didn't exist in that potential yet. And so it was a really magical and powerful thing to watch students in my classroom who maybe hadn't had someone speak their potential into them come alive and literally become different people because someone noticed their potential. And so that was part of the fuel to the flame of this desire to start not just a classroom but an entire school that proclaimed that we would deeply invest and believe in kids and that we would speak their value to them on a daily basis. And so I thought maybe someday when I'm 40 I could be a small tiny part of starting a school, and things progressed much faster than I felt like I was prepared for, but doors opened until I walked through them. And so it's been really valuable to me to stay connected at Jewell because I've actually been able to bring some of our students from UCA, as we call it, to the Hill. And so kind of going along with believing in kids' potential, being able to look at them and say, you could go to college here someday, and this is the dorm that you could live in, and these are the people that you can walk around with, and being able to give students an image and a picture that they can put in their heads to fixate on as they are learning their alphabet and their numbers is something that's really meaningful, and it's really hard to explain how impactful that is and the twinkle that's in students' eyes when they get to see a picture of where they could be. And so I just wanted to end this evening by dedicating this award to the women that are sitting at this table with me, because they are all people who saw my potential when I didn't believe in it myself and when I felt like I was at my weakest. And so I just want to honor them tonight with this award. So I'm so grateful, I'm so humbled, and I feel so honored. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Meredith. The Distinguished Alumni Service Award was created in honor of those alumni who graduated more than 15 years ago and have demonstrated a consistent level of dedication to William Jewell College and its mission. These individuals have displayed a unique and steadfast loyalty to our college and have given to the fullest extent of their time and treasure in the name of William Jewell. This year's Distinguished Alumni Service Award recipient is among the most ardent supporters of our beloved college. Please join me now in honoring Mr. Bill Dillingham. Bill is accompanied this evening by his wife, Carrie, and his parents, John and Nancy Dillingham. Also in attendance this evening are friends and fellow alumni, Chad and Shauna Wright, as well as Chad and Katie Jones. Bill is a native of the Kansas City Northland, I'll make sure I get that right, and his choice to attend William Jewell College continued a long-standing family tradition. Bill's time at William Jewell was preceded by his great-great-grandfather, Benjamin Lampton, who graduated in 1859. His great-grandfather, Alan Thompson, and his godfather, Kemp Woods, went on to attend William Jewell in the 1880s, and the 1930s, respectively. Indeed, the Dillingham family has always been closely tied to William Jewell College. During his own time at William Jewell, Bill was very involved on campus, most notably as a member of the Kappa Alpha Order, where he made many lifelong friendships. Bill was also on the basketball team, and perhaps his most fond memory during his time here was made in 1997, his senior year, when he graduated. Before he graduated, his squad clinched a conference title. Expectations for that team were somewhat low going into the season, but his team came together and emerged victorious, hoisting a red and black banner that still hangs in the Mabee Center to this day. After his time at William Jewell, Bill joined the ranks of financial advisors at one of America's best firms, Northwestern Mutual. After earning several accolades as a salesman, he decided to pursue an opportunity with another of America's top firms, Prudential. Bill has enjoyed great success throughout his career, and he consistently ranks among the top 10 producers in his company. While working towards his professional goals and helping his wife Carrie raise her 3 children, Lucas, Jack, and Lily, Bill still found time to give back to William Jewell, most notably in his role as alumni advisor to the KA chapter here on campus, a role he remains in to this day. In fact, it was during my own time here that Bill began his tenure as our alumni advisor. I'll go ahead and take this opportunity to offer a formal apology to you, Bill. There were headaches for both of us, and you know the meaning behind that. So I'll leave it there, but I apologize. Anyway, the chapter had fallen on hard times, but with Bill's support and guidance, we were able to find our feet again. We recovered fully and went on to win back-to-back national awards in the first 2 years of his time with us, something that we're very proud of. Bill Dillingham is someone that continues to set the gold standard for service to William Jewell. I consider him to be a role model to follow in all facets of life, and I am not the only one in that regard. In fact, it is quite likely that his example ultimately led me to be standing here on this stage addressing you tonight. Bill chose the path of sacrifice and gave back to his alma mater, William Jewell. As such, I can think of no one more deserving of this award. It is with humble pride and immense gratitude that we congratulate Bill Dillingham this evening. Thank you for your outstanding service to William Jewell College. Thank you.
I will be brief. Brian, that was awesome. Thank you. Stop for the pictures. Andrea Malone sends us an email that says, hey, think of some stories and stuff that you would like to tell. And I've started thinking about some of the stories that we had in the house, and either they were probably funny to just us right here, or they're completely inappropriate for this crowd. So I scratched that, but I did want to tell you one of the greatest rewards that I have as an advisor. I've been doing this now, what is it now? I think I'm up to 12 or 13 years. It's hard to believe because it's been tremendous. It blows me away today when these kids come to Jewell, all right? And of course, I don't meet them until second semester. All right, and they decide to accept an invitation to become a member of KA, and then they go through the process to finally become an active member. And what gets me is that what people don't realize today is most of the boys or men that come here are on athletic scholarship. They're playing some kind of sport. All right, and I don't know what the percentages are, but I know they're rather large. Okay, and not to mention that they're here for academics. And when we were here, Jewell Athletics was in the Heart of America Athletic Conference, NAIA. It was Division II, then it moved up to Division I. As you all may know in the room, they moved up to NCAA Division II. Well, the time commitment and the competition that has come with that is far greater than it ever was when we were in school playing basketball. And so they have to manage that time. Okay, then they come to be a member of KA, and the beautiful thing is that there's only about 40 of us. And I say that actually with pride because we typically have 10 officers in the House, some that are elected and some that are appointed. And with that being said, when you've only got 25% are officers, you have the chance to get involved. You don't get that at a major university because there's hundreds of people, in my case, in a fraternity. And so you may say you want to get involved, but you truly have to politic to get involved. And so guys get to get involved, and they really do want to take advantage of that opportunity and do various things. And some of them end up becoming a vice president, president of the House, which takes a huge time commitment, more than ever today with all the compliance, all the risk management. Jeez. But yeah, exactly. Brian's living proof of that. But anyway, they're already playing sports. They're already involved with our fraternity, which again takes a huge time commitment. Oh, by the way, they have academics. And what gets me is today, part of the curriculum, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's community service with it now. There is internships. We never thought about internships. It was what bar or restaurant we were going to get a job at in the summer to make money so we'd have something for the fall. But the reality is that these guys are asking me to write all these recommendation letters, okay? Whether it be CERN, the Federal Reserve, UMB, Commerce Bank. And I'm just like, holy cow. I mean, these kids, I know you said they're scared at times coming through, but man, they have their act together. I mean, we did not. So that blows me away. So that is truly rewarding for me to watch this. And so I want to tell you the group of guys that I'm dealing with. This is so cool. Last spring semester, they got a 3.38 GPA. Think of that. Majority of our house right now are football players, okay? And I shouldn't say majority, but our athletes in the house. And we all know that they're in the midst of the season right now. And I mean, I don't know how they do it and keep their grades up. That blows me away. Just so you know, your chapter here, which I know Mr. Sharp, Mr. Pierce, you need to hear this, okay? We have, as he mentioned, we fell in hard times. We almost had a chapter revoked. We were pretty close. So we came back, and this is the guys that we're dealing with now that just, again, blows me away. We have been, I think the last 6 years in a row, we have won what is called the Alumni, okay? The top 10% chapters in the United States, all right? There's 135. Top 10%, okay? We have been in the running the past 5 years, and we've only got one, which has been a little frustrating for me. I've had to, you want to talk about politicking with the national office, for what they call the George C. Marshall Award, which is the highest rank. So, the thing for me is to watch these guys and everything they do, and I just sit back and I like to say I take part in it. I don't. I mean, I give a little guidance here and there, but it is a pretty cool thing to watch. So, I'm totally honored. This is beyond anything I've ever thought. So thanks, man. I really appreciate this.
The John F. Truex Award for Lifetime Alumni Service is the pinnacle award of the Alumni Association. It's presented to an alumnus or alumna who graduated more than 50 years ago. The 2016 award recipient is Dr. Nita Gilker, class of 1956. At Jewell, Nita was a member of Alpha Delta Pi sorority, a staff writer for The Student, the newspaper, active in BSU, and president of the Psychology Club. One day, a student named Charles Don Gilbert decided to join the Psychology Club, just the club for a scientist. The chair of the Psychology Department, Dr. Harvey Thomas, assigned Don the seat next to Nita. The rest, as they say, is history. Don and Nita were married in 1958. As a student, Nita worked at the telephone company as an operator until the last semester of her senior year when, guess what, dial phones came out. Her job was gone. She felt very fortunate to have the best part-time job in Liberty. Her favorite Jewell memory is Professor Austin Edwards walking into her Shakespeare class with a tray and a white towel over his arm to serve treats to the class. After graduating from our school, Nita received a master's degree from the Harvard Graduate School of Education in 1960 and a PhD in adult education in English from UMKC in 1984. She taught 5th grade, junior high, and senior high. She was an adjunct professor at William Jewell for 7 years, along with being a trainer for Fred Pryor seminars. In 1984, she was awarded the Best Dissertation of the Year at UMKC. She served for 5 years on the Historic Development Commission for the City of Liberty, president of the Faculty Wives, and twice as president for the Women's Committee. She facilitated the Century House plaque installation and also the Clay County Historical Marker for the President's Home. With classmates, she has organized several class reunions, and her class won the Golden Cardinal Award from the Alumni Board of Governors for excellence in fundraising. Nita served, wonderfully I might add, 9 years with the Alumni Board of Governors. We miss you. 6 of those on the Presidential Council. She counts this time as her most rewarding experience serving Jewell. She's a founding member of Inasmuch Ministry in Liberty and a former president of the KC chapter of the National Speakers Association. Since 1984, she has been the president and grammar guru of Gilker and Associates, where she helps others with language, logic, and coarse grammar. And if you think it wasn't stressful to write a speech for the person who is president of Grammar Guru, you're wrong. She won't see the speech, she'll only hear it. Nita, congratulations on all of your success, and thank you for your service to William Jewell.
It's especially gratifying to have this experience this year because this is the 60th anniversary of my class, and quite a few of us are here, including our president for life, Ron Tipton. He has held that role since graduation. I'm very delighted to have him with us. Well, when we first came to Liberty in 1968, Don and I thought we wanted a big, old house close to campus. And we found a big, old house close to campus, 1890. And then we decided sometimes, wow, it might be too big, too close, and too old. But we've been there ever since, and we enjoy being that close. In fact, we're so close that when our son was a Lambda Chi, and the Lambda Chi house was down Kansas Street, he had to walk past us to go to class, so we sort of knew. Being that close has given us a wonderful opportunity for continuing contact with alumni and students, including Rich. Glad you're here to talk to Don tonight. And I have enjoyed my involvement here. It's been easy. Run across the hill, run across the street and run up the hill. When I was first here, brand new, Irene Thomas called me, invited me to Women's Committee, and the next year I was the social chair. And that meant for her that my daughter and I fixed up, I'm sure at least 30 little tiny pots of fresh flowers so we'd have some on all the tables. That was a very big deal. The Board of Governors is hardworking, talented, brilliant, and handsome. It's a wonderful experience to have known them, and so much younger than I would have otherwise ever had contact with them. There are people in this room I would so love, and I just would not have known it. Well, you have already raised your hands. I was going to have you do that because I really like to see people raise their hands and be acknowledged for what they've done in the past and not just what they're presently doing. So I celebrate that. I also am delighted to receive the Truex Award. It really is an honor. I'm delighted to connect with all the people who are here who have been a part of that. And in fact, Bill Riggs was the first one when it was first initiated. In fact, I kind of heard it was sort of initiated so he could get that honor. And so I'm delighted to remember that somewhere like 1971, he and I were both Mr. and Miss Alumni, which is the old form of Distinguished Service Award that Bill got, and we rode in the William Jewell Parade together in a open car. Yes, waving, yes, because we still can do it, yes. Because the recipients aren't all known to all of you, and there aren't that many, I'm going to finish up simply by naming those recipients. I'm grateful to be in that list. So, last year, Dick Brown, then Ann Henning, who is here and has been recognized, George Dooley, Ray Brock, Fred Pryor, Shirley Pryor, Harvey Thomas, Irene Thomas, Richard Harriman, still miss him, Jim Berry, Harlan Ginn, Jareen Moore Hester, Ann Sutterth, Christine Griffey Pugh, do you remember Christine? Richard Bowles, Fred Young, Bill Turnage, Betty Schaus, Helen Early, Tom Bray, Lauren Goings, and Bill Briggs. Isn't that a wonderful list? Incidentally, only when I'm paid for it do I correct grammar, so not to worry.